Yevgeny Prigozhin, the head of Russia's Wagner Group mercenary organization, is said to have returned to Russia from exile in Belarus after the stunning attempted mutiny he staged in Russia last month. And it's still not clear what ultimate fate awaits him or his mercenaries. The exile was one of the conditions that ended the revolt. President Alexander Lukashenko announced Thursday that Prigozhin had left Belarus and was in St. Petersburg or Moscow. Flight tracking data shows a private jet linked to Prigozhin flew from St. Petersburg to Moscow on Wednesday and was continuing to move around the country Thursday, although it's not clear if he was aboard. Lukashenko says Prigozhin is a free man, added that Russia's President Vladimir Putin, quote, won't wipe him out. The Kremlin says they aren't following his movements, but confirmed that his exile was part of the deal. If Prigozhin is allowed to return to Russia with impunity, it would raise new questions about Putin's authority in the wake of the mutiny. He said last week that Russia is more united than ever. Meanwhile, Russia's state television reported that an investigation into the mutiny was still ongoing. It launched a fierce attack on Prigozhin Thursday, with a report looking at his luxurious residence, showing an arms cache, personal helicopter, cash, and other items. The host of the show, a lawmaker, called him a traitor. The status of his mercenaries is also unknown. Lukashenko says the question of Wagner units relocating to Belarus hasn't been resolved, would depend on decisions by Moscow and the mercenaries. Lukashenko had offered to station some Wagner fighters in his country after the mutiny, which has alarmed NATO. It's an offer, Lukashenko says, that still stands.
I'm here to talk about what we're doing to invest in America.
U.S. President Joe Biden touted a $60 million solar investment in South Carolina on Thursday, which he held up as an example of his plans to rebuild American manufacturing.
This is what it looks like across the country. Over 13 million new jobs since I've been elected to office. More jobs than any president's ever created in the first 2 years. Nearly 800,000 manufacturing jobs.
It's the focus of his re-election bid, what he's taken to calling Bidenomics, emphasizing job and wage gains since he took office in 2020. And fresh economic data out Thursday appeared to support some of his message. Private payrolls surged in June, while the number of Americans filing new claims for unemployment benefits increased moderately last week. A key test of Biden's message comes Friday with June's employment report. But one thing that could undermine Biden's rosy economic picture is inflation. While the pace of price increases has slowed since last summer, it's proven a persistent problem, despite aggressive efforts by the Federal Reserve to raise interest rates. Biden spent the majority of his remarks talking up manufacturing. He emphasized the growth of the sector here, with companies planning to increase production of everything from electric vehicle battery parts to microchips, with legislative victories like the passage of the Inflation Reduction Act contributing to the gains.
Just today, the Department of Energy announced new incentives for companies to bring solar power manufacturing back to our shores. We're in a real race. China's ahead of us.
The competition with China has become intense. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen began a 4-day visit there Thursday to try to ease tensions, though there are low expectations on both sides.
Насколько я на сегодняшнее утро информирован, бойцы, очень серьезные бойцы, ЧВК «Вагнер» находятся в своих лагерях, постоянных лагерях, в тех лагерях, где они находились после вывода с фронта на восстановление, лечение, отдых и так далее. Идет ротация обычная для такой войны. И вот после Бахмута, Артемовска они были выведены в свой лагерь, там они сегодня и находятся. Что касается Евгения Васильевича Викторовича, да? Евгения Викторовича Пригожина, он находится в Питере. Где он сегодня утром, может быть, в Москву поехал, может, еще где-то, но на территории Беларуси его нет.